Hola a todos, como saben estamos en Bogotá en el World Business Forum. Nos acompaña en este momento Laura Huang. Laura es una experta en diversidad y talento en las organizaciones. Laura, welcome.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Laura, let's talk about the main subject in your academic career, which is stereotypes in the workplace. Why are stereotypes and biases a problem in the workplace?
I think they don't necessarily have to be a problem, but I think that a lot of times when we think about quality and we think about merit, those things get in the way. And so a lot of times those perceptions start to change the way that we see how people enrich and provide value, and they skew them away from the actual ways that people enrich and provide value. So we're not really getting a true understanding of what people can do and what they can accomplish. And this is a problem for organizations that care about their talent and their future outcomes.
Laura, you have mentioned that to improve the perception that others have of us, we must delight, to be delightful. What does being delightful mean?
You know, delightful is a hard sort of thing to encapsulate, but it really is what allows us to crack the door open and give us an opportunity when we might not belong to the right networks or know the right people or have those opportunities. So it's almost like you're dancing and all of a sudden the music stops for 2 seconds and then comes back on. In that 2 seconds, you're thinking, oh, what just happened? That's delight. It's not necessarily positive or negative, but it stops the conversation and you start to think, what happened? And so you ask questions, you start to know somebody in a different way, and it doesn't matter if you've known them 10 years or 10 minutes. You're able to really see them in a different light and understand how they enrich and provide value in a different way.
Okay. Laura, finally, what is the first thing we can start doing to inoculate, that is a term that you use, to inoculate against unconscious biases?
Yeah, I think, it's really key to be able to flip these perceptions in our favor. So what I mean by that is there are lots of constraints and barriers and stereotypes out there, but there are ways that we can flip them in our favor, that we can inoculate against some of the negative perceptions that are out there. And so what I talk in my work about, I talk about edge and how we gain an edge. And gaining an edge is about that advantage that we all have, but it also stands for the framework, the E, D, G, and E of gaining an edge, where the first E stands for enrich, the D stands for delight, the G stands for guide, and the final E stands for effort and hard work. And we've talked a little bit about each of these components already, but the first E, enrich, is about how do we provide value? How do we enrich? What are our strengths, our weaknesses, our underestimated strengths? But sometimes even more importantly than having that self-awareness, it's about what are those underlying perceptions that others have about the ways that we enrich and provide value. So it's knowing, how do they see us? How do they perceive the way that we can do things even when there might be these stereotypes? Even when we enrich, we need to constantly be delighting and authentically delighting people. So knowing, how do we uniquely delight the customer or the client or the supplier or our boss or our partner and anyone that we might be interacting with. And when we're able to do that, that's when we're able to, again, crack that door open so we show how we enrich and provide value. The G stands for guide. So that's the guiding. Even when we enrich and delight, we need to always be understanding how others perceive us and how they're guiding us and how we should be guiding them as well and how they see us. And the final E stands for effort and hard work. Effort and hard work come last in this framework. And that is very, very purposeful. We often think that effort and hard work comes first, that if you put in the hard work, it'll speak for itself. That if you put in the hard work, people will see it and you'll get the success. But in fact, when you know how you enrich and delight and guide, that's when your effort and hard work actually work harder for you. That's when you're able to see the benefits of that hard work that you put in.
Okay, Laura, thank you very much. It was a very interesting conversation.
Yes, pleasure.
A ustedes muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Seguiremos aquí desde Bogotá en el World Business Forum.